You're listening to the Loudmouth Radio Network.
Good morning to this world, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you may be at the time of listening to this podcast. I hope that you've made the best of your Monday. Thus far, I know that for many of us, we may be living in a place where there's inclement weather, as well as back to work schedules, coming off of a weekend prior to of a long weekend, and the work week was shortened last week. So I'm sure this week is going to be pressed forward and get things done, right? For me, rain, clouds, fresh air. It's funny how rain can just be, for many, a nuisance. Some may think that it's a moment of relaxation. And some parts of it can be rejuvenating, resetting. But for the bigger part of the climate, it's good, especially in Southern California, where it does not rain all the time or quite a bit, typically. Today, I'm going to share one of my 25 motivational tips for your Supercharge to 2024. We're staying on that path. We're not deriving from it. And because of that, I am definitely excited about this topic. Today's segment is the process of ignoring the distractions. Because I tell you, I think anybody that is physically in this earth can understand that phrase and how things like that can affect you so easily and knock you off your path. But it's just as important that we're aware that there are things that can be distracting: people, places, energies. And what do we do with that? How do we temper it? How do we maintain our presence within it? Well, it's not necessarily a scientific science, but it is something that I think it is important to have full awareness so that you can maintain and stay in the direction in which you desire. Guys, you know what time it is. It's Monday, and it's time for Monday Motivation. Let's go. Welcome to Loudmouth Radio Network. My name is Sonny. As a former professional athlete turned entrepreneur realtor and the producer of Loudmouth Radio Network, I look forward to bringing content to you that empowers, inspires, and entertains you. Tune in each week as we have unscripted and unfiltered talks from entrepreneurship, real estate, politics, entertainment, comedy, LGBTQ topics, day-to-day life, and everything in between. All shows available on demand 24/7 on your favorite podcast platforms. Santa Center, Temecula Valley areas, and throughout the Inland Empire. Are you looking to become a homeowner in 2024? Register today for the New Home in the New Year seminar hosted by Sonny. Let's get you from rental to homeowner in the new year. Get the latest insight of down payment assistance programs, whether you purchased a home before or purchasing for the first time. We want to make sure you're provided with the necessary information needed for you to buy your new home in 2024. Look forward to seeing you there. I think that what's amazing for us here in Southern California, we're probably day 2 now, going on day 3 of rain. Inclement weather. It's not constantly raining, but our temperatures are still pretty cool. I'm not going to lie. I know a lot of the parts of the country are looking at some cold temps, freezing temperatures, snow. But for us, we've been kind of gliding around the 50, 60 degree mark steadily these last couple of weeks. And for January, I know that it's not uncommon to be hearing about blizzards or snow and things of that nature, which my people in Chicago, New York, and those areas that are, embracing that weather right now, we're here for you. We're praying that you're staying warm and that you're safe, most importantly. But isn't it amazing how something as simple as the weather can also be sometimes predetermined to feel like a distraction? We might make an excuse as to why we won't or can't do something because it's raining, I don't feel like it. It's best I can just, Netflix and chill, as they say. There's a lot of different things that may come into path. Some people like to read, some like to sleep and rest. Definitely the weather will embrace all of these things. But I think for me, one of the parts I like for this time of season is reflective time and intentional movements. And I do think that the rain does make you think a little bit more about what you need to do, and it may slow you down a little bit. And with that being said, a lot of times the things that are distracting us may make us feel like we're scattered and not in a position to do things that would normally keep us on schedule. Or we may change our schedules completely because we feel like we can't stick to the things that we've had on our agenda. I'm not going to say that I haven't felt that or done that type of thought process. I have. And even now, it's still a process of maintaining a different level of responsibility of thinking and being conscious about the factor that I could say those things and give reason as to why I can't show up or I can't complete something. And that is not at all to give you a negative thought process and say, I'm not speaking from somewhere I can't really wrap my hand around, because I can. I know what it feels like to work at not being distracted. It's part of the just as big of a responsibility as it is doing the things necessary that you have on your agenda. Now, one of the things that I found about ignoring distractions is that if you can pinpoint areas in which maybe your attention span has been shortened, and that may not be as, now that itself may not be as easy as what I've just said to do and identify, but it is a starting point that can help to support you and aid you in using your time wisely and finding ways to better focus. I know for me, I can get distracted easily because of there's, different things that I have to do. Like, for instance, one of the things that I've gone back to getting better at, I've always been one to carry a planner or organizer or a book. You're going to always see I got books of some magnitude. And so I've gotten better about writing down the things needed and working to keep this book on me at times so that I do not fall short or fall away from it. Doing that helps me to better focus on the things that I've identified, wrote out, and then you can just kind of check them off, right? And in that process, it gives you an idea of where you are in the course of your day. It kind of allows you to know if you're meeting the things that you've deemed necessary for that particular day or that time. And then in that, it also kind of sometimes will give you a perspective of how you may be approaching your day. And if you're really doing the things that you said that you were going to do. And then being able to take pride in knowing that you're getting it done. One of the things that I've had to adjust, which is going to take me into my next portion of the conversation, is sometimes there's this elimination of people that may not be time-wise. It could be even physically necessary that you remove yourself from certain spaces or places that is not helping your growth. And I think for anybody, you can feel a sense of uncomfortableness in sometimes making a decision like that because it's not always easy. Two, you may not necessarily recognize that certain people are not aiding to the better you. There are times that you may have people that are not understanding or aware or sensitive to the factor of what you're looking to do for yourself. And so when things like that happen, it can create a separation. It can make spaces, times, and interactions uncomfortable. And, for yourself, you have to figure out if it's time for you to maybe move in a different direction. And that could be physical separation. It could be a physical move. It could be a conversational separation. Maybe you don't talk as much, spending as much time in conversations about things that are not, balancing it. Sometimes your conversations can be balanced to better give you ability to maintain a relationship or to shift a relationship or friendship. And what I mean by that is that, if you're spending a lot of time socializing in one way, but you're not handling business on the other, or handling personal things in your life, then you may want to temper off some of the social aspect of your conversation and spend more time on yourself, spend more time on concentrating on what you need to do. And if that person that you're having that interaction with doesn't understand it, or they may question you about it, or they notice it, just let them, this is the thing. You got to also allow yourself to let other people know or put them on guard about what you're doing. Or maybe something that you need to feel like you need to declare or discuss and say, hey, I'm working towards this goal, and because of that, I might not be able to hang out as much on the weekend. Maybe I'll call and check in with you a little bit later. Maybe we can talk at the end of the day. I'm gonna get through my day, and then we can talk later. Just things like that. And I think that it will help you to recognize that even in interactions with other people, it can be distracting. One of the things that I've also have had to really take back in account, I remember telling somebody, I can remember my days in college and spending and doing all-nighters, and I was a student athlete, so I'm playing basketball, I had practice, I had games, I'm doing my own workouts, I'm doing my team unified workouts, I'm doing my courses, still have to make time for homework, and in there at some point maybe want to have some kind of social time, right? And so you have to find this way to balance the work and rest, and balance between the two. There's a time you have to designate for resting. And I think that, as we're aging, you'll find that maybe your production in itself can get better if you give yourself some time to rest. And this, I know I'm still a late nighter. I've learned to enjoy trying to, curve my days to where I can get up much earlier and maybe start my mornings early when it's really, really quiet, even maybe still dark, and the movement of the day hasn't started. But even in that, I've had to prep myself to go to bed earlier that night before if I knew that I was going to get up at 5 or 6, right? So it's just recognizing the importance of rest and work. And then with that, it allows you some type of geared perspective of your energy, your direction, the things that you're focusing on, giving it essence, and giving it priority. Because rest is priority. Our bodies need to rejuvenate. And a rejuvenated body helps your mind. Your mind also needs to rejuvenate. And the mind rejuvenates through rest, meditation, which is another thing. Having conscious meditation. I don't mean necessarily that you have to sit a certain way, listen to a certain thing, pray a certain way. Meditation has a vastness. And you might meditate by music. You may meditate by doing recreational activities. You may meditate in the shower with your water. It's so many different ways, but consciously being aware of resting, and resting your mind and resting your body. And I think what that ultimately does is help you see that you're carving out the life that you truly desire. And another thing that will also benefit that is I kind of have some quick little tips that I want to give you in regards to that. Writing down some of your goals, right? Create timelines when you write those goals down. Go and do those goals, and have accountability partners along the way. Stay on the course, take breaks when necessary, and keep striving. And I think that is the footprint that's going to help you to stay on path to create the life you truly desire. For me, I have had multitudes of times of opportunities to talk to you guys on these different shows in regards to different things. And I think that the personal development space is such a ever-changing environment, and it's such a wonderful process to know that you are actually evolving and you are growing even when it doesn't feel like it. There are times when you are feeling like you're not getting anywhere even though you're putting in the work. It may feel like things are not necessarily pattern themselves toward the direction of what you desire. But every now and then you'll see a glimpse of something that's giving you a tap on the shoulder or saying, hey, kid, look, you're doing good. It may feel uncomfortable. It may not look the way you want it to look, but that does not mean that it's not going towards your favor. It does not mean it's not necessarily aligning, because if you are putting in the work and you're keeping the faith that you are able to achieve what you desire, it all goes together. It's not one elusive thing. It is an entire process and an accumulation of all these things. And I think that for me, initially when I conceptualized the 25 motivational tips, at first I thought about just doing one show of it and just running it down. And I was like, yeah, it could be a 30-minute, 40-minute, hour, it could just be a flush out, and that'd be a great way for me to push people up to 224, do it at the end of the year of 2023 and give them the prep and tools to. And along the way, I changed that thought process. The irony in that is that I felt like, well, maybe not, maybe not so much of that, because I could easily give you all of these tips in one show, pile it all in, lay it all out, and say, here you go. But, the real truth is our life doesn't work in that capacity, does it? We're not given 50 years at the point of our birth, or given all of these opportunities of doing everything in one moment. If I was a boss to someone right at this moment, giving them these 25 tips and say, hey, go do these, I can't expect for them to do all 25 of those tips in the same day. Nor can I necessarily expect you to take in and take control and hone each tip as I give it to you. So in that process, I think it was speaking to myself, even just as much as my thought of speaking to you, was to take those tips and to just align them for a week-to-week discussion. Because I think that even in just looking at the archives of the shows and past shows, if we're right now on tip number 4, you can already go back and go to the first episode of Forgiving Yourself and listen to that content. And it may be 10, 15, 20 minutes of content of just that one topic. So just like how I made these tips, I think it's the ironic way of like how God gives us our opportunities in life. And our experiences are like these episodes. They're filled with different conversations and aspects and perspectives and experiences and mistakes, successes, curiosity, questions, and because we get an opportunity to do something more and be something more, it makes sense to be able to digest it as you get it. So that is ultimately how I think that I shifted and said that I feel like these are 25 good tips. And I felt like they would be more informally understood and digested if I gave it to you in bits and pieces. And I think that, in the universe, we have our lives unfolding in that same way, that if we were given our entire life perspectives, like if we really had the physical ability to see everything that would happen for us in our life, it would overwhelm us. I don't think that we would. I don't think that we would be successful in executing what we saw, even as much as we would like to see it unfold. We wouldn't be able to handle it, given all of it at once. Most likely, we probably wouldn't even pan out to do what we thought we might want it. We saw it all at one time. So I think that it's important that we give ourselves grace, right? And recognize that this is a gift, that the ability to choose, the ability to change, the ability to enhance, the ability to learn, even in our mistakes, whether it's, our own individual day-to-day walks. Maybe we're having a problem we're trying to solve and we're not necessarily getting it right. Maybe friendships or relationships, societal ties that may have been one way and you want to change it and make it another. We have that ability to do that. And that in itself is a gift. So I hope that as we go through the next 21 motivational tips throughout the course of this season, that we can implement, just the fact of being able to implement one for the work week. Just imagine if you can implement 7 days of forgiving yourself every day consciously, right? Which was the first episode. And then the next week, you're talking about stop making excuses. The third week after that, we talked about educating ourselves. And today we're ignoring the distractions. So hopefully you guys see where this buildup is really creating a muscle for us that can be something phenomenal. And I do believe for myself as well as for you, that the more that we're able to ebb and flow and get these things that can empower us, that it will make us a better person. That is the whole objective point of it, transformation, right? And I find myself in all at times getting these little aha moments as I share with you my own notes, my own breakdowns of the parts of the information that I'm giving you. And then it allows me to reflect even more as I'm physically communicating the information to you. And as I listen to the playback, just as much as you listen to the actual podcast, it is very reflective, and it makes me understand even more how wonderful we're becoming by making advocate changes in our lives. And our changes also affect other people. We can't forget that. Sometimes we'll look at personal development as a one-way street, and it's not. It's a personal development for us to be a better implant amongst the whole. And I think that it gives us more power to be just as effective in the society as the people around us. And that's the thing that separates us, our abilities to be and do and show up as ourselves. So I pray that this week has given you something insightful and that it will be helpful to your work week and your life's week and your social week, and that we'll come back together on the next topic and have something to relish in, and maybe look back and see where our growth over the last few weeks has already started to pass. We still got another week in January, so we're already seeing the length of the year start to expand for us, and so I'm praying that we're expanding with it. You guys have a wonderful day, and I look forward to talking to you guys soon. Peace.
Fast hauling, junk removal, and demolition is serving the Hemet, San Jacinto, and Temecula Valley areas, providing affordable junk and bulk pickup services. Whether you're in need of home or business pickup, fast hauling and demolition is available 7 days a week at 951-378-2727. In need of a fast demolition? Looking to build or remodel? Fast demolition is available to tear down and rebuild your kitchen, patio, bathroom, floors, walls, ceilings, and more. Fast hauling and demolition also provides front and backyard services if you're in need of trim of small palm trees, yard removal of debris, and more. Contact them at 951-378-2727. San Jacinto, Temecula Valley areas, and throughout the Inland Empire. Are you looking to become a homeowner in 2024? Register today for the New Home in the New Year seminar hosted by Sonny. Let's get you from rental to homeowner in the new year. Get the latest insight of down payment assistance programs, whether you purchased a home before or purchasing for the first time. We want to make sure you're provided with the necessary information needed for you to buy your new home in 2024. Look forward to seeing you there.
You're listening to the Loudmouth Radio Network.